Dr. Samira Patel stood at the edge of the crystalline forest, her research equipment humming softly in the purple twilight of Kepler 186f. The bioluminescent trees cast a gentle glow across the landscape, their branches swaying in the alien breeze. After 3 years of studying this remarkable ecosystem, she still found herself in awe of its beauty. The mission was supposed to be straightforward: document the unique properties of the planet's photosynthetic life forms. But as she adjusted her atmospheric sensors, something unexpected caught her eye, a pattern in the light pulses that couldn't be natural. "Base, are you seeing this?" she spoke into her comm device, adjusting the frequency scanner. The readings were unlike anything in their database. "Affirmative, Doctor," came the response from Dr. Nasir Roth, her research partner back at the main facility. "The energy signatures suggest intelligent design. We should notify command." Before Samira could respond, the forest around her erupted in a symphony of light. The crystalline structures began resonating in harmony, creating intricate patterns that danced through the air. As she watched in amazement, a figure emerged from between the trees. The being stood nearly 7 feet tall, with iridescent skin that shifted colors like the aurora borealis. Its form was humanoid but clearly alien, elegant and ethereal. Most striking were its eyes, which held depths of wisdom that made Samira's breath catch. "I am Nairi," the being spoke, its voice carrying musical undertones that seemed to harmonize with the forest itself. "We have been watching your studies with great interest." Samira straightened, her scientific training kicking in despite her wonder. "I'm Dr. Samira Patel of Earth's Xenobiological Research Division. We had no idea this planet harbored sentient life." Nairi's skin rippled with what Samira would later learn was amusement. Perhaps that was by design. Not all civilizations choose to announce themselves to the cosmos. Over the next several hours, Samira learned that the Keplerians, as they called themselves, were an ancient species who had achieved harmony with their environment through advanced biotechnology. The crystalline forests weren't just beautiful, they were living computers, communication networks, and energy collectors all in one. "Your dedication to understanding our world impressed us," Nairi explained as they walked through the luminescent grove. "Where others might have seen resources to exploit, you showed reverence for life in all its forms." Samira felt a deep connection forming, not romantic, but a profound meeting of minds across the vast gulf of space. Here was a chance to learn from a civilization that had solved many of the problems humanity still struggled with. "Would your people be open to establishing diplomatic relations?" she asked carefully. "There's so much we could learn from each other." Nairi's skin shifted to a deep blue of contemplation. "That is precisely why I revealed myself to you, Samira. We believe the time has come for our peoples to meet, properly this time." As the twin suns set on the horizon, casting rainbow refractions through the crystal canopy, Samira knew she stood at the dawn of a new era for both species. The real work of building understanding between their worlds was just beginning. Base would have protocols for first contact situations, reports to file, and chains of command to follow. But in this moment, watching the play of light across Nairi's ethereal form, Samira allowed herself to simply experience the wonder of meeting someone new who could expand her understanding of what was possible in this vast universe. This was why she had become a xenobiologist, not just to study alien life, but to build bridges between worlds. As she and Nairi began discussing the intricacies of their respective sciences, she knew this encounter would change both their civilizations forever. Weeks after the initial contact, Samira found herself spending more time with Nairi in the bioluminescent forests. The Keplerian had been assigned as her official cultural liaison, though their interactions had grown far beyond mere diplomatic necessity. One evening, as they walked along a crystalline stream that seemed to sing with its own inner light, Nairi demonstrated their species' unique ability to communicate through color and light patterns. Their skin rippled with waves of blue and gold, creating intricate patterns that danced in the twilight. Each pattern represents not just words, but emotions, memories, entire concepts, Nairi explained, their voice carrying that musical quality that never failed to captivate Samira. Would you like to learn? Samira nodded eagerly, her scientific curiosity mixing with a deeper desire to understand this fascinating being. As Nairi guided her hands through the air, teaching her to read the subtle changes in light and color, she became increasingly aware of their closeness. Your species communicates so much through touch, Nairi observed, their skin shifting to a warm violet hue. We find it fascinating how humans convey meaning through such physical connections. Yes, Samira replied, her heart rate quickening as Nairi's luminescent fingers traced patterns in the air near her arm. Touch helps us feel connected, understood. She hesitated before adding, though I imagine our ways must seem quite primitive to your people. Nairi's skin flickered with what she now recognized as disagreement. Not primitive, different. Your physical forms allow for a type of intimacy we can only achieve through our light sharing. Both have their own beauty. The conversation shifted to deeper topics as they settled beside the singing stream. Nairi explained how their species had evolved beyond the need for traditional reproduction, instead achieving a form of consciousness transfer that allowed them to share experiences across generations. But we still form bonds, Nairi added, their skin taking on a deep rose color Samira hadn't seen before. Emotional connections that transcend mere biological imperatives. Some of us are drawn to explore relationships with other sentient beings, to understand different ways of experiencing the universe. Samira felt a warmth spread through her chest at these words. The attraction she'd been feeling wasn't just one-sided, nor was it merely physical. Here was a meeting of minds and souls that defied conventional understanding. Your people have advanced so far beyond us technologically, she said softly. Yet you still seek connection, understanding. It gives me hope for humanity's future. Nairi's form seemed to glow brighter. Perhaps that is why our peoples were meant to meet. We have much to learn from each other. As if to demonstrate, Nairi reached out and took Samira's hand. Where their skin met, a gentle tingling sensation spread up her arm, accompanied by a cascade of colored lights that seemed to flow between them. It wasn't intimate in a human sense, but it created a connection that felt more profound than any she'd experienced before. That's remarkable, Samira breathed, watching the interplay of light and sensation. Is this how your people share experiences? A simplified version, Nairi explained, their voice taking on a tender quality. The full experience requires more preparation, and a deeper level of trust. But this is a beginning. As they sat together by the singing stream, sharing stories of their respective worlds through this blend of human touch and Keplerian light sharing, Samira realized she was falling in love, not with a physical form or even a specific gender, but with a consciousness that expanded her understanding of what love could be. The diplomatic implications of such a connection would be complex, she knew. But as Nairi's lights danced around them, creating patterns that spoke of possibilities yet unexplored, she couldn't bring herself to care about protocols or procedures. This was about something more fundamental, the ability of two vastly different beings to find common ground in their shared appreciation of life's mysteries. The sacred pools of Kepler, 186f shimmered under the twin moons, their waters reflecting the bioluminescent canopy above. Samira stood at the edge, watching as Nairi emerged from the glowing liquid, their form radiating patterns of light that took her breath away. The Keplerian skin now displayed colors she'd never seen before, deep, shifting hues that seemed to pulse with an inner energy. These waters are special to your people, aren't they? Samira asked, her voice soft with wonder. Nairi moved closer, droplets of luminescent water trailing down their ethereal form. They are where we commune most deeply with our world, they explained, their voice carrying that musical resonance that made Samira's heart flutter. The minerals here enhance our ability to share light patterns. It is intimate. Samira felt her pulse quicken as Nairi extended a hand toward her. Would you like to experience it? The invitation in their voice was unmistakable. Is it safe for humans? She asked, though she was already slipping off her outer garments, leaving her in the special biosuit designed for Kepler's environment. I have studied your physiology carefully, Nairi assured her, their skin rippling with patterns that conveyed both desire and protectiveness. The waters will not harm you. As Samira stepped into the pool, the liquid seemed to embrace her, warm and tingling against her skin. Nairi guided her deeper, their hands steady and sure. The water around them began to glow more intensely, responding to Nairi's presence. "Close your eyes," Nairi whispered, drawing her close. "Let yourself feel the connection." The moment their bodies touched in the glowing water, Samira gasped. It was unlike anything she'd experienced before, as if every cell in her body was singing in harmony with Nairi's energy. Colors danced behind her closed eyelids, forming patterns that spoke of emotions too deep for words. "This is how we share ourselves," Nairi explained, their voice seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Not just physical union, but a melding of consciousness. Through their connection, Samira began to understand Keplerian intimacy in a way no human ever had. It wasn't about physical pleasure alone, but about sharing the very essence of one's being. She felt Nairi's thoughts, their memories, their hopes and dreams flowing through her like streams of living light. "It's beautiful," she breathed, opening her eyes to find Nairi's face inches from her own, their skin pulsing with patterns that matched her heartbeat. The alienness of their form no longer seemed strange to her. In this moment, they were simply two beings sharing something profound. Nairi's hands traced patterns on her skin that left trails of light in their wake. "Your species experiences everything so intensely," they observed, their voice thick with emotion. "Every sensation, every feeling, it's intoxicating." As they moved together in the glowing water, Samira felt herself opening up, sharing her own memories and feelings through their connection. She showed Nairi her childhood dreams of the stars, her years of study, the loneliness of being different from her peers. In return, Nairi shared visions of Keplerian history, the beauty of their art, the depth of their philosophy. Time seemed to lose meaning as they explored this new form of intimacy, neither fully human nor fully Keplerian, but something uniquely their own. The waters around them pulsed with their shared energy, creating patterns that would be studied by both species for years to come. Later, as they lay on the shore beneath the crystal canopy, their bodies still glowing faintly from the encounter, Samira realized something had fundamentally changed. She wasn't just an observer anymore, studying an alien species. She had become part of something larger, a bridge between two worlds, two ways of being. "What happens now?" she asked, watching the play of light across Nairi's skin. Nairi turned to her, their expression serene yet serious. "Now we face the challenge of helping others understand what we've discovered. Not everyone will accept the possibility of such deep connections between our species." Samira nodded, knowing the truth of those words. Already, there were whispers back at the base about the amount of time she spent with Nairi. Some of her colleagues couldn't understand, the depth of what was developing between them. But as Nairi's lights danced around them, creating a private universe of shared understanding, she knew this was worth any challenge they might face. They were pioneering something new, something that could change both their species' understanding of love, connection, and the possibilities that existed in this vast universe. Dawn broke over the crystalline spires of the Keplerian city, casting rainbow refractions across the landscape. Samira stood in the private chamber Nairi had arranged for her, watching as the alien sun painted the sky in shades of purple and gold. Her skin still tingled from their latest sharing in the sacred pools, her mind full of the memories and emotions they'd exchanged. A soft chime announced Nairi's arrival, their form glowing with anticipation. "The council has reached a decision," they said, their skin rippling with complex patterns that Samira had learned to read as a mixture of excitement and concern. Samira felt her heart race. They had petitioned the Keplerian High Council for permission to form a formal bond, something unprecedented between their species. What did they say? Nairi moved closer, their luminescent form casting gentle patterns across Samira's skin. "They want to witness our connection firsthand. They've granted us access to the Temple of Shared Light." Samira's breath caught. The temple was the most sacred site in Keplerian culture, where their most profound bonds were formed and celebrated. No human had ever been allowed inside. When? She asked, trying to keep her voice steady as Nairi's fingers traced glowing patterns along her arm. Tonight, Nairi replied, their skin shifting to deep indigo tones that spoke of desire and anticipation. But first, we must prepare. The preparation ritual was unlike anything Samira had experienced. In a private chamber filled with bioluminescent crystals, Keplerian attendants helped her don a ceremonial biosuit that responded to her body's energy, creating subtle patterns of light that mimicked their own natural abilities. Nairi appeared as the sun set, wearing nothing but their natural radiance, their form more brilliant than Samira had ever seen it. "Are you ready?" they asked, extending a hand that seemed to pulse with inner light. The temple rose before them like a living cathedral, its crystalline walls thrumming with energy. Inside, the High Council waited, 12 ancient Keplerians whose forms shimmered with wisdom and power. Their collective glow filled the chamber with dancing lights that spoke of curiosity and cautious acceptance. "Step forward," the first speaker commanded, their voice resonating through the chamber like music. "Show us what you have discovered together." At the center of the temple stood a pool unlike any Samira had seen before. Its waters seemed to hold galaxies, swirling with colors that defied description. As she and Nairi entered the water together, the liquid began to respond, creating patterns that reflected their shared consciousness. Their joining in the temple pool transcended their previous connections. Through their bond, Samira experienced the full depth of Keplerian perception, the ability to see energy fields, to feel the pulse of the planet itself, to understand time as a fluid, multidimensional construct. In return, she shared the uniquely human experience, the intensity of physical sensation, the complexity of emotional bonds, the drive to explore and understand that had brought her across the stars. The council members watched as their energies merged, creating displays of light and color never before seen in the temple. Through their connection, Samira and Nairi demonstrated something profound, that love could bridge not just cultural differences, but the very boundaries of what it meant to be conscious beings. When they emerged from the pool, their forms still intertwined with shared light, the first speaker approached. "We have witnessed something extraordinary," they declared, their skin pulsing with formal patterns. "Your bond transcends our understanding of what is possible between species. It will be recorded in our histories." Nairi's form brightened with joy, their patterns merging with Samira's biosuit in a display of unity. "Then you approve?" "We do more than approve," the first speaker responded. "We wish to learn from you both. Your connection may hold the key to deeper understanding between all sentient species." As they left the temple that night, their bodies still glowing with residual energy from the joining, Samira felt a profound sense of purpose. What she and Nairi had found wasn't just about their personal happiness, it was about showing both their peoples a new way forward. "What happens now?" she asked, watching the play of light across Nairi's form. Nairi's response came in both words and patterns of light that danced across her skin. "Now we begin the real work, helping others understand what we've discovered. There will be challenges. But we'll face them together," Samira finished, understanding flowing between them like starlight. The sacred garden of light sprawled beneath the crystal dome, its bioluminescent flora creating an ever-shifting tapestry of color. Samira reclined against Nairi in their private sanctuary, their forms bathed in the gentle glow of the twin moons. A year had passed since their union in the temple, and their bond had only grown stronger. "The first human Keplerian cultural center opens tomorrow," Samira mused, watching as patterns of light from Nairi's skin danced across her modified biosuit. The suit had evolved with their relationship, now capable of translating her emotions into Keplerian light patterns. Nairi's form pulsed with pride and affection. "Thanks to you," they said, their fingers tracing luminescent patterns along Samira's arm. "Your willingness to bridge our worlds has changed everything." Indeed, their relationship had sparked a revolution in interspecies relations. The intimacy they shared had inspired others to explore deeper connections across the boundaries of form and consciousness. Several other human Keplerian pairs had begun their own journeys of discovery, each finding unique ways to blend their different forms of experiencing reality. "Remember when we first met?" Samira asked, turning to face her partner. "I was so focused on studying your world, I almost missed the chance to become part of it." Nairi's skin rippled with amusement and tenderness. "And I was so intrigued by your physical way of experiencing life, I nearly forgot to share our light patterns with you." They paused, their glow deepening to the rich indigo that Samira had come to associate with desire. "Shall we visit the pools?" The sacred pools had become their favorite retreat, a place where they could fully merge their consciousnesses in the luminescent waters. As they slipped into the glowing liquid together, their forms began to shine with shared light. This time, their joining was different. Through their connection, Nairi shared a vision, a glimpse of possibilities they had discovered through their research into human Keplerian biology. "Our scientists have found a way," they whispered, both in words and light patterns. "If you wish it, we could create something new together. A child of both our species." Samira gasped, the water around her pulsing with her surprise and joy. "How?" "By merging our energy patterns at the quantum level," Nairi explained, their form glowing with excitement. "The child would be neither fully human nor fully Keplerian, but something wonderfully unique, like our love." Tears of joy mixed with the luminescent water as Samira pulled Nairi closer. Their forms merged in the pool, creating patterns of light that spoke of futures yet to come. Through their connection, they shared not just physical pleasure but the profound joy of two beings choosing to create something entirely new in the universe. Later, as they lay entwined on the shore, their bodies still gleaming with shared light, Samira reflected on how far they had come. What had begun as a scientific mission had evolved into something far more profound, a love that transcended the boundaries of species and consciousness itself. "I never imagined finding this kind of connection so far from Earth," she murmured, watching the play of light across Nairi's form. Nairi's response came in both words and patterns of light that danced across her skin. "Perhaps that's why the universe is so vast, to give different forms of consciousness enough space to find each other and create new possibilities." As they lay together beneath the crystal dome, their forms sharing light and warmth, Samira knew they had discovered something precious, a love that could light the way for others across the vast expanse of space. The future held challenges, certainly. Their child would be the first of its kind, a bridge between worlds in ways they could only begin to imagine. But as Nairi's light patterns merged with her own, creating new colors and forms in the sacred garden, Samira felt only joy and anticipation. They had proved that love could transcend the boundaries of form and consciousness, that intimacy could be found in the spaces between stars. As the twin moons cast their light through the crystal dome, Samira and Nairi held each other close, their shared glow a beacon of hope for all who dared to dream of connections across the cosmic void. In that moment, surrounded by the living light of their love, they were more than just two beings who had found each other across the vastness of space. They were a promise, a glimpse of what was possible when hearts and minds opened to the infinite possibilities of love in all its forms.